Hey, you tell me that, I'll let you know. I need some supper, you know. Another one, stay strong, someone else will come along. It's not a very good thing to say. But I'll tell you another loneliness, as I was doing this research, is being married to someone who is a phantom partner. Uh-oh, now we're all going to get in trouble. Do you know some of the loneliest people are married people whose partner is in another world and doesn't have time for them? Oh, you come home every night, you sit in your chair, you got your book, got your little iPad. Marriage should be the most intimate of all relationships. Unfortunately, being married doesn't automatically ensure companionship. We watched Judge Judy. I just think she's a riot. I wish she was president. I really wish she'd run for president. I think she'd get it. But she meets all these young people that have been stupid. Now, you girls, pay your attention again. I'm going to tell you what Judge Judy would say. Don't be stupid. I don't care how good he looks. I don't care what kind of car he drives. I don't care what kind of butt he's got. You said he said that in church? Yeah. Because I remember my girls saying something about some guy had a nice butt. And I said, let me tell you something. You marry a guy for his butt, all you're going to get is a rear end. Because you run over to the nursing home, we all look about the same naked. Shriveled up. It's the truth. I saw a video of me in 1991. Because I was cleaning up. Oh my. All this was not there. Often married people live separate lives with separate interests. They have parallel lives, but they rarely intersect. But girls, just because some guy sweet talks you, Judge Judy gets these kids and they've lived together and then they've married, they bought a house together, they bought a car, or she loaned him money. Don't do that. Don't ever loan a boy money. If he needs money from you, you know what he's going to need? More money. I'm sort of favoring the girls today a little bit because we got so many here. You know how to spell love? I got up Monday morning and I was working on this message and this just hit me. Love is a 4-letter word. Time, hugs, hear, H-E-A-R, talk, pray, read, grin, in other words, smile, and care. Sometimes the only thing people have in common is their kids. And I'll tell you what happened to my parents. After 31 years of marriage, we were the only thing that they had in common. And my dad went somewhere else. And I remember him saying to me one time, I'm so glad y'all are home. When you're not home, we don't have anything to talk about. And I realized later what had happened. You see, Jeremiah served God without a wife, without a partner. Only God knows, and most of you know where I would be without my partner. We'd be in trouble. She helps me carry the burdens. She reminds me of things that I need to do. She takes care of cards and letters, prays for me and with me and for you. See, Paul was a faithful servant without a wife. Some commentators believe Paul was married and that his wife had died, but they're just supposing. One time Paul wrote, "Only Luke is with me. Demas has forsaken me." Paul knew what it was like to be lonely. How do you deal with loneliness? So this is really for all of us. Focus on being thankful. Every day you wake up is a blessing. Help others. Read books that encourage you. This is things that my survey. Be faithful at church. One person said, I pray out loud. Do things that remind me of my loved one. Do you ever do something you go, oh my goodness, my mama would have done that? I know, Debbie, you must do that all the time. Think, oh, my mother would have done that. And one lady said, I want to be a good role model for my children. I asked people, what's one thing you'd like to say? Don't hesitate to mention my loved one to me. People appreciate that you remember that they lost somebody. I like to hear good stories that make me laugh. It helps me laugh and even cry. One person said, I take life one day at a time. I don't know God's plan. But one of the dangers is building a life of imaginary fulfillment, fantasies. The internet's full of it. Ladies, if you're on Facebook, dye your hair black because they're after you white-headed ladies. And it's the way it is. They are, the perpetrators are looking for mature women that they can take advantage of. Facebook or social media also becomes like an artificial community. Do you know the word saints is always plural? Why? Because we need one another. That's why it's so good to watch you all come in this morning. Just watching you as you came in. Well, this family got here real early, and I rejoice. Let me tell you 3 things that Dr. David Jeremiah said, and then I want to close. If you're lonely, number 1, acknowledge the reality of loneliness. Quit pretending that you're lonely. Face it. And by the way, you can be lonely in a crowd. It's a state of mind. God created us to be in a community. Number 2, allow God's word to speak to your heart. I beg people every week, read the Bible together. It's the glue. It's the glue. You say, I feel awkward. Well, that's silly. Just open the Bible and read it. You might say, I don't understand that. The other one say, I don't either. Well, let's just keep going on to the next verse. Just keep reading. Book of Proverbs, Book of Psalms. This morning, my wife read Psalm 91 to me. Because at 2 o'clock this morning, I was in a mess. I didn't think I was going to be able to be here. I couldn't sleep. And God gave me a peace. And this morning, my partner read God's word to me to give me comfort. It strengthened me. And number 3, activate a community of Christian friends. If you've got friends that are living like the devil and acting stupid, forget them. You're not going to change them. You're not going to pull them up. They're going to pull you down. Dr. Jeremiah said, lingering in the house of loneliness is a choice. I have 2 more pages of notes, but I'm going to stop here. This message has helped me, and I pray that it'll help you. Sorry, I'm not a very exciting preacher today, but my heart is with you. Jeremiah had one friend named Ebed Melech, and we'll talk about him in a later